Erotic Verses Understanding Lust and Boundaries. Part 1. The Nature of Desire. Chapter 1. Primal Urges. In the dimly lit room of a small therapy office, Sarah sat nervously in a leather chair, tapping her fingers on the armrest. She had spent countless hours analyzing her feelings, but today, she sought clarity outside of herself. Her therapist, Dr. Lane, listened attentively as Sarah began to speak. "I don't understand why I'm so drawn to him, even though I know he's not right for me," she said, her voice tinged with frustration. Dr. Lane knew that Sarah's story wasn't unique. Humans are wired with deep, primal urges that often baffle the rational mind. To comprehend these urges, we must journey back to a time when survival depended on the primal instincts of our ancestors. The origins of desire. Desire, at its core, is rooted in our biology. The desire to procreate ensured the continuation of the species. Evolutionary psychology tells us that humans are predisposed to seek partners who exhibit traits indicative of fertility, health, and strength. Men, typically driven by visual stimuli, tend to gravitate toward women displaying physical signs of youth and fertility. Women, on the other hand, often seek partners who can provide security and resources. But this primal urge for reproduction is only one layer of the complex nature of lust. As societies evolved, so did human sexuality. Ancient Greeks, for instance, approached love and desire differently than many contemporary societies. They understood eros as a form of passionate love that could consume a person entirely. Eros could lead to divine madness, capable of uplifting the spirit or plunging one into despair. Boundaries. Amidst lust, modern society has layered expectations and taboos over our primal instincts. Sarah's struggle reflects this complexity. Her attraction to an unsuitable partner, she feared, could threaten her boundaries and values. Herein lies the tension between lust and boundaries. Boundaries are psychological, emotional, and sometimes physical limits we establish to protect ourselves. They help us maintain a sense of self amid the powerful pull of desire. However, when lust overrides these boundaries, we can find ourselves compromised. Navigating lust with respect. Lust is often portrayed as a force to be tamed, something inherently wild and uncontrollable. But treating lust as the enemy overlooks its potential to enrich our lives. Understanding lust means recognizing it as a natural drive that, when balanced with healthy boundaries, can enhance relationships. Dr. Lane advised Sarah to delve deeper into her own motivations and boundaries. He suggested she reflect on what she truly valued in a relationship. "Do you feel like this relationship aligns with your personal values?" he asked. Over time, Sarah became more attuned to her boundaries and desires. She recognized the difference between the excitement of lust and the deeper connection she sought. By understanding her primal urges and setting clear boundaries, she empowered herself to navigate future relationships with clarity and confidence. Practical exercise. Understanding your desires. 1. Reflect on attraction. Take a moment to list characteristics that you find attractive in a partner. What are the similarities and differences across past partners? 2. Identify patterns. Are there recurring themes in your attractions? Do they align with your values and needs in a relationship? 3. Set boundaries. Reflect on where your boundaries lie. Are there traits or behaviors you cannot tolerate, even if attraction is strong? 4. Communicate needs. In your next relationship conversation, share what you value and what makes you feel safe. Diverse perspectives on lust. Cultures around the world have framed desire in various ways, shaping how individuals experience lust and boundaries. In conservative societies, lust is sometimes portrayed as a temptation to be resisted, while others celebrate it as a vital part of the human experience. In India, the Kama Sutra discusses not only the art of lovemaking, but also the ethical approach to relationships and pleasure. Similarly, Japanese culture embraces shunga, erotic art that reflects the aesthetics and values of different periods. These varying perspectives highlight how cultural narratives influence our understanding of desire. To broaden our awareness of our own desires, it's important to recognize and respect these global variations. Interdisciplinary insights. Psychology and sociology offer frameworks for understanding lust, but biological sciences also provide valuable insights. Neuroscience reveals that during moments of attraction, our brain's reward system releases dopamine, creating a sensation of pleasure. Hormones like oxytocin and vasopressin foster attachment, which can explain the powerful bonds that arise even when boundaries are overstepped. From an anthropological perspective, mating strategies and societal structures play roles in shaping how we perceive and act on desire. Sociologist Anthony Giddens' concept of the transformation of intimacy posits that modern relationships now focus more on personal fulfillment than social or economic necessity. Conclusion: primal urges are an indelible part of the human experience, but by understanding their roots and recognizing our individual boundaries, we can cultivate relationships that honor both. As Sarah learned, exploring the erotic mind requires balancing desire with self-respect. When we engage in this journey mindfully, we can embrace lust as a vibrant, enriching force in our lives. Chapter 2: The Psychology of Lust. On a warm summer evening in Barcelona, Elena, a university student majoring in psychology, met Marco at a local jazz club. Their connection was instant, an electrifying mix of attraction and intrigue. As they danced, the chemistry was undeniable. Elena, who had been exploring the psychological underpinnings of human behavior in her studies, found herself contemplating the forces driving their mutual attraction. Understanding the psychology of lust. Lust, a profound component of human sexuality, isn't merely a raw, physical urge. It is deeply woven into our psyche, influencing thoughts, emotions, and behavior. To understand lust from a psychological perspective, one must consider its dual nature as both a biological impulse and a complex emotional force. The biological roots of lust. Biologically, lust is driven by the body's reproductive instincts. Neuroscientists point to the limbic system, the brain's pleasure center, where neurotransmitters like dopamine create the thrilling sensations associated with attraction. This chemical reaction is not just about physical pleasure. It also strengthens social bonding and increases the likelihood of mating. Lust and emotional connection. However, lust transcends mere biology. It is also shaped by individual emotional landscapes. For Elena and Marco, their attraction wasn't just physical. As they shared stories and laughed over drinks, they built an emotional connection that deepened their initial lustful feelings. This intertwining of emotion and desire is critical in understanding how lust operates within human relationships. Social and cultural influences. Lust is also profoundly influenced by social and cultural contexts. In some cultures, open expressions of lust are considered normal and healthy, while in others, such feelings might be suppressed or frowned upon. For Elena, coming from a liberal European background where sexual expression is more openly discussed, engaging with her feelings was natural. Conversely, Marco, raised in a more conservative environment, found this openness both alluring and challenging. Navigating lust and boundaries. The dynamics of lust often bring about a critical need for setting and respecting boundaries. Dr. Jasmine Chen, a psychologist specializing in relationship dynamics, explains, lust can challenge personal boundaries because it can cloud judgment, making it difficult for individuals to distinguish between short-term desires and long-term well-being. For Elena and Marco, their conversation eventually steered toward their expectations and boundaries. Elena expressed her desire for a slow-paced exploration of their connection, emphasizing the importance of mutual respect and understanding. Marco appreciated her honesty, which allowed him to align his expectations with hers, showcasing a healthy way to navigate lustful feelings. Practical insights. Reflecting on lust. 1. Self-reflection. Exercise. Think about a time when you experienced strong lustful feelings. What were the circumstances? How did your emotions influence your decisions? 2. Boundary setting. Write down what boundaries mean to you in a relationship. How do you communicate these to a partner? 3. Emotional awareness. Keep a journal about your feelings when you experience attraction. Note any patterns that emerge and how they align with your deeper emotional needs. Diverse perspectives on lust. Understanding lust requires acknowledging diverse perspectives. For example, the Western perspective on lust often emphasizes individual desires and personal fulfillment, whereas Eastern philosophies might focus more on lust's impact on social harmony and familial obligations. Interdisciplinary insights. The study of lust benefits from interdisciplinary insights. Psychology offers a window into individual behaviors, while sociology provides a broader social context. Anthropology brings in cross-cultural perspectives, showing how different societies interpret and manage lust. For instance, research in evolutionary psychology suggests that lust has been a vital component in mate selection, ensuring reproductive success. Meanwhile, cultural studies might explore how media and literature shape our perceptions of lust and intimacy. Conclusion: as Elena and Marco's night drew to a close, they reflected on their deep conversation. They had navigated the thrilling yet potentially treacherous waters of lust with openness and respect. Their story illustrates how understanding the psychology of lust, acknowledging its complexities, and engaging with it thoughtfully can lead to richer, more meaningful human connections.